Okay, good morning. I decided I would write a speech for this rather than do a presentation, and when I tried to print it off this morning, that didn't work. So I've got some notes on my iPad, so I'm winging it a little. I'm also wearing my really cheap spectacles because I lost my real ones and I had to buy these for £1, and unfortunately I'm being filmed, so hey. Good start. So anyway, so good morning. Yeah, I was asked to come along today to talk a little bit about how memory-friendly neighbourhoods or dementia-friendly communities, we have various terms, fit in with the Scotland's National Dementia Strategy. I think it's also important to think about how not only how do they fit in, but how can each of the areas of work around Scotland's National Dementia Strategy and also around dementia-friendly communities or dementia-enabled neighbourhoods or dementia-friendly neighbourhoods, how can they also support and how can they mutually support the work of the National Dementia Strategy? So as you know, Scotland has now published two National Dementia Strategy. The first one, published in 2010, had two key areas of commitment. One was around improving post-diagnostic support for people with dementia, and the other one around improving the experience of dementia within acute hospital care. And a number of initiatives have come out of that. New standards of care for dementia in Scotland, promoting excellence, the framework which sets out the knowledge and the skills and behaviours expected of all health and social care staff working with people with dementia. And that work around acute care supported by dementia nurse consultants and a whole network of dementia champions as change agents. So a lot of work has been delivered, a lot of good work has been delivered in two very focused areas of work. This current National Dementia Strategy is a bit more ambitious. It has 17 commitments. And we were involved in the dialogues events around both of the National Dementia Strategies. And before this one was published in late 2012, we began a series of national dialogue events. And that has informed the kind of key outcomes for the current National Dementia Strategy that we have. And they're not separate. This is a continuum of the first dementia strategy, because that work continues. But those key outcomes are that more people with dementia live in a good quality of life at home for longer, dementia-enabled and dementia-friendly local communities, a timely and accurate diagnosis, better post-diagnostic support, people with dementia and their families and carers as equal partners in care, respect and better respect and promotion of rights in all settings and improved compliance with legal requirements of treatment, and finally people with dementia in hospitals or other institutions always being treated with dignity and respect. And to achieve those broad outcomes, there are 17 commitments. Actually, none of the commitments, the 17 commitments, explicitly talk about or make a commitment around dementia-friendly community work. In the preamble to the strategy, there's a section there which sets out the context, or the wider policy context in which the Scottish National Dementia Strategy sits, so that things like health and social care integration, the reshaped care agenda, self-directed support agenda, but also acknowledges other areas of work and makes some commitments to support and continue to work around that. And one of those areas is dementia-friendly community work, and acknowledging the work of the Life Change Needs Trust as it comes on board and its ambitions around promoting dementia-friendly communities. It makes a commitment to continue that work. I suppose the strategy can be looked at in some ways of 5 key areas. One is that whole area of improving health and social care, so people's experiences of health and social care. So the work that's been done in acute settings is now being driven in through Commitment 11 and other areas of work into other settings like the continuing care environment, specialist dementia services and units, and also beginning to look at care homes and other environments as well. But in terms of the journey of dementia or someone's life with dementia, key areas are around improving people's experience of diagnosis, including encouraging people to come forward for a diagnosis, and encouraging and improving the experience of post-diagnostic support. Now we know that there are significant barriers which prevent people talking openly and honestly about dementia. We know that there are negative perceptions and stigma still remain around dementia, which prevent those discussions. We hear so often in the work that we do on a day-to-day basis of families really struggling to come to terms with the fact that someone in their family may be concerned that they have a dementia, and it becomes a big elephant in the room because no one wants to talk about it, and that's informed by stigma and negative perceptions, and it prevents help-seeking behaviour. And also, there's other barriers. People believe in, well, why come forward? What can be done for me? I'm not going to get any help. There's only a few drug treatments, and I think what that work of the National Dementia Strategy and all of those areas of work is about, trying to show that actually there is an offer here. We know that the mainstay of care and treatment and support for people with dementia is what other humans provide, and other human supports. So the work of the Post-Diagnostic Support Guarantee, which is based around Alzheimer Scotland's 5-pillar model, and the commitment to test Alzheimer Scotland's 8 Be-like pillars in Alzheimer Scotland. So I'm at home here today, actually. But our 8-pillar model of integrated community support, the 2 key areas of those bits of work, or the pillars, are actually about keeping people connected within their communities. And we know that if people are not well supported through the illness, early in the illness, that actually their life begins to shrink. The people who were part of their life, sometimes, because they find it difficult to speak about, stop visiting and stop participating in that person's life. The things that they did, the things that they contribute to, they stop engaging with, and their life becomes smaller and smaller till they become very isolated. So all of those areas of work about keeping people connected with their communities, it's really difficult to rebuild that once it's gone. Yes. But if we're there early to keep people supported, to continue to have access to their families, to their friends' networks, to the social activities and the things that they did within their community, it's much easier to support people earlier, to continue that and to work with their social networks to help them maintain that, than it is to try to replicate that and rebuild it much later in the illness. So, and also towards the end of life. So the National Dementia Strategy also looks at palliative care. Now, Alzheimer's Scotland, we're currently in preparation for the next National Dementia Strategy. We're looking at a model, an advanced illness model, which will look at the very difficult transitions that people go through in the advanced part of the illness, right through to end-of-life care. And we'll soon be starting a kind of consultation process. We will talk to a whole range of stakeholders, including many people in this room, I would hope, about what that might look like and what good and high quality care as people go through those transitions in the advanced illness happens. So it's about right through from people being concerned about their memory, right through to end-of-life care. And those 17 commitments are driving forward some of that work. Are we there yet? Absolutely not. We cannot be complacent in this, but I think that the general direction of that work is very positive. In terms of the link between dementia-friendly communities or dementia-friendly neighbourhoods, or memory-friendly neighbourhoods, I get these terms mixed up all the time, I apologise, in the National Dementia Strategy, I think the key thing that really underpins all of this is human rights, a human rights-based approach. And the National Dementia Strategy is underpinned by the Charter of Rights, as many of you know, for people with dementia, which was an initiative of the cross-party group. I know who was the chair of the cross-party group at the time, was sitting here and deserves a huge amount of credit for that. Jim Colleen, who worked with me in Alzheimer Scotland, was part of that group too, and we worked collaboratively together with other agencies and also with the Scottish Human Rights Commission to put that together. But that Charter of Rights is built on a human rights-based approach. And many of you have heard by now the phrase PARL, the right of everyone to participate in decisions which impact on their lives. Accountability of those who are responsible for upholding and respecting human rights of those who they work with. Non-discrimination and equality. Empowerment for every person with dementia and their families to know and claim their human rights. And legality in every decision. So issues around adults with incapacity, mental health care and treatment, for example. That's a human rights-based approach. And I think sometimes that we get very bogged down in that. And if you ask people to describe what a human rights-based approach is, or what human rights are, then people perceive that to be very high-level principles and standards, and sometimes something which is couched in very legalistic and complex legal terminology. And very few of us would describe our lives in terms of human rights. If someone asks me, how did your day go today? I don't normally say, well, it was a great day. I had all of my human rights fulfilled today. But what I will do, and what I think we will all do, is we know when we've had a good day, we know when we've had a fulfilling day, we know when we've had a mix of experiences, or meaningful experiences. We know when we've engaged with our family, with our friends, when we've been out in the community, we've seen various things, scenery, we've been able to engage, share stories, engage with other people. Those are the things that make us human rights. Those are the things that make us feel part of and a citizen within society. Eleanor Roosevelt once posed the question way back in the 1950s when she said, what after all are universal human rights? And she goes on to describe them as being the things that happen in the small places of our life, in our workplaces, in our homes, within our families, within our communities, within the schools and other educational institutions. They are the things that happen very close to us. And I'm glad that you mentioned Brian, because I saw Brian's presentation when he delivered it in Malta, and he talks about, never mind a dementia-friendly community, I'll do with a dementia-friendly street and a dementia-friendly neighbourhood, the things that are close to me. And we talk very often about things like personalisation and personal outcomes and asset-based approaches. Terms like dementia-friendly communities or dementia memory-friendly neighbourhoods. Aren't those, after all, the manifestation of a human rights-based approach? And for me, the link between where does dementia-friendly neighbourhoods fit within the National Dementia Strategy, and where can the National Dementia Strategy fit with that work around dementia-friendly communities? For me, it's that link. It's about that human rights-based approach. It's about the small things that happen in our life. It's the things that make us feel that we are citizens. And what we need to do is to strive to make that a reality and remove some of those barriers that prevent people with dementia from fulfilling those things, from having fulfilling days, from having fulfilling and meaningful experiences, to feel that they're valued, supported, and are able to make a contribution within their lives. For me, that human rights connection is what fits these two strands of work together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jim.